Good morning, Flosstube. It's Lynette here, HexagonStitches from sunny Brisbane today. It's been a bit, but things have just been hectic and I've been very tired in between it all. Anyway, today's video is triggered by a lovely stitching day with Cascade Fabrics, which is a dyeing fabric tammy here in Australia. And some others are posting, and I thought, well, I'd better get on and see if I can get one posted. Because it's been a while, I've got a few things to show, so let's see how we get on. Start with some finishes, some fully finishes. I've been in a bit of a cutting stuff down and just getting it done. This was a stained glass stitch along from Carol and Manning, and this is just the top half. And I just wanted to move on to other things, so I just thought I'd finish it, and I really love this finish I've had of this. Then I had a long-standing project by Rosewood Manor that I just decided years ago. I was really into alphabets, and when I saw 101 alphabets by Rosewood Manor, I thought, well, let's do it. But I just decided recently I'll just trim off what I'd done and make another project bag. And this is on I believe it's a 36 count linen. This one was a 18 count Aida, I think. I can tell you more about that in a minute because I'm using that for something else. That was Fabric Flair, and yep, 101 alphabets by Rosewood Manor. It's a huge one. And there was a reason for this finish, and I'll come back to that later as well. And then another one that's a huge one that I just decided I wasn't going to finish is His Eyes on the Sparrow. So this is on 22 count Hardanger. And what I did was I was here and I had these words. So these words are supposed to go right across. So I pulled them over and put them under here. I just finished the border where it would meet up, and then I had a lot of fun just picking motifs to go in that section. I think this one is actually the far right corner. And later this year I'm going to Hobart, and Beth Twist will be there, and I'll take this. And I enjoyed stitching it, but I think I enjoyed it because I could see it was going to be a finish. But there's a but. We'll come to the but later in the video. So they were my FFOs. I think there's been a few other finishes along the way, but I'm just sort of starting from a relatively recent point and going forward, otherwise we'll never organise it all. I've got a few new starts along the way, but I'm not going to put them under a new start category except the first one because they all fit with other categories. So I saw Sully Stitches stitching Brenda Gervais, and then I saw some other people, and I just wanted to do a Brenda Gervais sampler. So I decided to do with needle and thread, and I've been really enjoying this. Have I written down here? This is a fox and rabbit fabric. It's 36 Tuscan Path linen. Right. And I have got all the way across, and then I'll be working down the left side. And so far I've been using all the call for threads, but my local cross-stitch shop is KoKo xstitch, and she was out of the red that you need. So I'm hoping, since it's been 2 weeks since I've been there, that it might have come in and I'll be able to get that. I have selected a possible substitute, but if she's got it in, I'd like to get that. I'm hoping to pop in today. So I'm really enjoying that one. And that one lives in this project bag, which I made from Sacre Bleu Fabrics by French General. I just wanted a hexagon bag. So that's what that's living in, as well as Dot the bird, but we'll come to Dot later. For some reason those two ended up in the same bag, I think because I was working on them at the same time and just really enjoying them. Okay, I've got notes here because otherwise I'll get... Right. Because we're going to the Cascade House, Colour Cascade, sorry, Cascade House is a thread company here in Australia. Colour Cascade Stitch Day, we need to bring Colour Cascade fabrics. And I had this fabric, which is a 36 count Edinburgh linen called Ice Ice Baby. And I also had a hank of dark blue Silks4U, and I thought, well, they just go together. So I was thinking of starting a couple of things, and then I thought, oh, it's near the beginning of May, maybe Long Dog would come out with a new pattern, and she did. So I just had a new start because it was Cascade Fabrics and Long Dog icon trees, and I'm sorry I haven't got a picture. There will be a link below to it though. All my things are linked below. So I started over here and I worked my way across, doing that where you go across and you cross every 10th stitch, so you knew where you're at. And I put in all the landmarks of the top of the trees. So they're triangles. So this tree is a triangle, and then there's a bit in between. This is another tree, and I think, what am I doing? 1, 2, 3, 4 trees. Because I thought since I was travelling, it would help, and it did. And because I did a bit of a round trip. So I'm in Brisbane. So I flew to Wodonga, which is on the border of New South Wales and Victoria, because that's where my dad and sister lived. So I went and visited them for a couple of days, and it was really nice to see my dad and my sister and my great nephew, who's really cute. He's 7. I spent a couple of days there. Then I flew on to Sydney because the Colour Cascade Stitch Day was in Sydney, and it was in the suburb that is the next suburb over from my daughter. And I thought, well, I've got to go. So then I went and visited my daughter, and I had the lovely Saturday and met people like Adelaide Stitches, met her friend Akiza, who sat next to me, and Jess and Fiona, and I think it was Christine on the other end, whose name I should remember because I've met her twice. And we had a lovely day. But then in the middle of the day, I got a phone call from my daughter. Just think I should fill you in. We're at the hospital, and my grandson Riley, who's 18 months, broke his leg coming down the slide. And apparently that's really common because it's actually got a term. It's called a toddler fracture. So poor Riley is in a cast up to above his knee because he's a toddler, and we'll just see where we go. He's doing quite well, surprisingly, but that Saturday morning, his older sisters like to play soccer, and here and I were playing soccer, and he goes, "Soccer?" And he kicks the ball to you really well, so it's going to be a challenging few weeks for them while they get through it all, but he'll be okay. Anyway, that's all by the by. So when I fly to Sydney, I then have to catch the train from the airport out to my daughter's, which is an hour and a half. So getting back to the stitching, perfect stitching is these long borders. Just really nice, just sitting on the train, stitching long lines. So I got a fair bit of the top done going out to her place, and then I came down here on the way back. And so it's been a very good stitching project. And I got the sum total, I was walking in here, sum total of 100 stitches at the Colour Cascade Stitch Day, and I know because I got confetti on my iPad. Anyway, so that's that one. Oh, and while I was umming and ahhing about that fabric and a new start and on that, I then remembered I had ink circles, Squirrels of Sumatra, and I'd started this a long time ago, and I'm not sure what the fabric is. It's very stiff, and I'd started it with Silks4U, and what I'm going to do, I've decided not to continue with this one. I'm just going to square this off and make it into a little pin cushion or needle book or something, and that'll be done. So this is a restart, because I had this fabric, which is a 32 count Lugana called Pansy that I got to KoKo xstitched, and I bought it because I loved it, and I started one of Olga Lena's, it was Alice, and I got this far, and I'm thinking this whole corner is just all border, and then there's 4 of them, and then you get to Alice in the middle, and I just decided I wasn't going to do all that. And if you want to see some of Olga's designs stitched up, go and watch Laura Stitching by the Shore, because she's done quite a few, I think. She's got a Mary Poppins one. Anyway, so I decided I'd restart. Did I say dragons? It's Squirrels of Sumatra. I keep calling it dragons because there's a dragon one that I like too. So I'm up here and I've restarted it, and this is just DMC 550, and I'm just doing 1/2 on this 32 count, and I quite like the way that's sitting. I love working on it. Oh, look what that was. Sorry, something flicked outside. Anyway, that's that one. And I really enjoyed stitching on that while I was waiting for icon trees to come out. Once that came out, move on. That's just in a generic bag. Right. Hope things don't fall over this morning. Okay, that's page 1. Excuse me while I have a sip. Okay, now we're getting to SALS. Yeah, there's a few of them. So this first one is Seasons Dreams, Part 1, Spring, by Barbara Anna Designs. And again, sorry, no picture, but you've probably seen this series. I think I bought 3 of them, but I probably only stitched this one. I've been really enjoying stitching this. I just pick it up towards the end of the night, and I'd like to have it finished because it's only this big. So this is this corner. So I've just got to finish this. The rest of her face comes down to her neck and her shoulders and some other thingy over here. But this is a 20 count Aida, which has been a little bit of a thing of mine recently. Yes, I might have that finished by the time I film again. Goodness knows when that will be. Hopefully sooner than later. That's just in a generic bag. And one thing I like, because this was a sort of a random start, I've just been throwing my bobbins in here. And it's really fun when you're finishing up. So I've finished 2 colours, I'll take them out and I'll put them aside ready to go back into my main stash. I like doing that. Another sale that was from Christmas was Thread the Needle. And if you watch Stitching Mummy, she's working on this. I think Laura's also working on this. So it goes this way. Oh, it's the pool guy I can hear out there. Okay. I have an issue with mine though, because can you see it's not centered. So when we got this, the first part you got was the border with these little corners, and somehow, even though it looked like I had a center, yeah, that doesn't look right. Anyway, never mind. I might just end up cutting the border off and doing something with it. But I've done all the black now, so I can just colour in. I was interested in Stitching Mummy, Sarah, she was saying the black's boring, but I actually really like doing the black, because you got to count and then you can just fill in, and I'm not necessarily so keen on filling in, which is why it's slowed down a bit. But I would like to get that finished as well, like at August. So that was at Christmas time. So I'm just reorganising myself here. Then another stitch along I began is you get a monthly part, is Christmas Market by Country Cottage Needleworks. And I was doing real well on this. every time the part came, I dropped everything and finished it. So that's the centre, and then they go around the side. But then market happened, and where I was getting them from, I didn't get the next pattern. She was a bit slow getting it out, which I think was stockings. And it's sort of, the whole thing sort of came to a bit of a halt, and now the next one's out with just wreaths. So I would like to get back to this. This is again on a 20 count Aida. And I'm sorry, I don't know what the colours are of these ones. Yeah, because I was really enjoying it. So I will get back to that one as well, she says, hopefully. Then we go to, oh, I'm supposed to be doing the hat cell, but that hasn't progressed very well. Snails Hollow, which I've got in this bag I made out of some leftover quilt blocks a while ago. And again, I haven't got a picture, but this is a mystery, so it doesn't really matter. So this is what we've got so far. So I think part one was, well, we had the border, and then I think part one was the snail, and we've had various bits. So this is some more mushrooms, but they're in purples. They look really cool. So that's this one. And I think the next part of this will come out tomorrow. It comes out Friday my time, I think, or is it Saturday morning? I can't remember whether it's my time or their time. But yeah, so it would be good to maybe pick a bit of this up later and try and get a bit more done before the next release. Which, as you'll see, there's a few other things that are behind. And again, that's just in one of these bags. So then Tiny Moderners came out with a cell. Now, at the end of last year, I told myself I was only doing 2 cells this year. One was the Haid cell, and the other was Museum at Midnight by Lola Crow. As you can see, that worked really well. The Haid cell is a bit slow on the mark. I sort of haven't been feeling full coverage, but anyway. So the Tiny Moderners came out with one again, and it has gnomes and mushrooms and snails, and I'm just gone when it's gnomes and mushrooms. So this is the other part of that fabric that I finished that Carolyn Manning on. It's Fabric Flair, Cloud Lilac by Fabric Flair. It's 18 count Aida. So I'm going to get a few little things out of this one. Oops. Get us right again now. I've reorganised it. So part one was the mushrooms, part two was the gnome, this is a snail, and oh, one, two, three. Part four's coming out, it's here. It's really cute, and I can't remember what it is. So this comes out every Tuesday. And you know, travelling, you just get behind when you travel as well, apart from anything else. But I'm enjoying it. My friend Jenny's doing it as well. Is that all the cells? Oh, and this I'm keeping in this bag because Jenny and I are doing it together, and Jenny loves Tilda, and she made me this bag, so I'm keeping it in there. And then the big cell, the big one, I bought Museum After Midnight from Lola Crow. I wasn't going to do it, and then I was going to do it, and I bought it, and the day it came out, I was really excited when it came out, and then I was knitting. Oh, I'll show you what I was knitting, just because we're talking about it. I was finishing this honeycomb blanket by Stephen West, and I just wanted to get it finished. And it's sitting over here beside me because I've got so the ends in. Yeah. Anyway, I finished that, and by the time I'd done that, I just went right off the idea of the Lola Crow. And then Denise showed me at KoKo xstitch she'd started it, and I thought, I don't know. Anyway, I'm at Colour Cascade Stitch Day, and the lady, Jess, sitting next to me is stitching away on, I can't remember what she was stitching to start with. And then after lunch I looked across and I go, "You're doing the Lola Crow?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Oh, okay." And she's nearly finished the frame and everything. So then I decided I'd do it. And I had a piece of fabric left over from the birds, which is not finished, which is colour Cascade. But then when I came home, I bought this 20 count Aida, which is London Fog by Atomic Ranch, and I just decided I wanted to do it on this. So here's my start. Now these are all arches from the museum, and this up here is the hanging skeleton of a whale. And again, I'm sorry I haven't got any pictures today. And if I start editing stuff, or to start with, I haven't really learned how to do it, and secondly, I'll just never get done. So what I did is I like to start at the top. So I start top middle, and then I'm thinking, well, I wonder where the first part's going to go out. So I jumped on the Facebook group, and apparently the first parts are coming out in the bottom, which was what happened with the birds as well. So I started up here, and now I'm working my way down, and so I can work on this section because I think these is where the first parts are coming out. June the 4th or something, 6th, somewhere at the beginning of June. So I thought, well, at least if I get this done, I can start, and then I can keep working on the border. When I did the birds, because I jumped on it straight away, I had the frame done by the time it came out, but this one's had a shaky start. But I'm really enjoying working on this. So I was working on this a bit yesterday. So if you want all those SALS, the links will all be on my show notes below, and you'll be able to see pictures of them all. Sorry, I just haven't got them here. Right, so now we come to whips. Let's take a sip of water. So I'm in the Magazine Monthly Challenge cross stitch group. I can't remember whether I did a thing there or cross stitch for May or not, but I'm doing their SPRINGO. SPRINGO is a bingo board, but SPRINGO is 7 letters, and you do 7 by 5, so you've got 35 squares, which means you mightn't, they pull numbers for the first 25 days. So you mightn't get a full board, but I do have a SPRINGO already, which is, I'll show you in a second. So for S of SPRINGO, I picked Spring Moon by Plum Street, and I've got spring, autumn and winter. Not that keen on the summer one. And I love stitching on all these things when they come out. Have I got what this is on? No. Yes, here it is. This is 36 count light mocha Edinburgh linen. Sorry, getting myself backwards in the camera. So that's as far as I've got. And it's upside down. Yep, that's it. So I've started the bunny's ears here, and I'm using the call for threads. A mix of Weeks Dye Works whatever it is, and DMC. So it's a mix. Now that has only been called. Sorry, what have I done with my SPRINGO board? Here's my SPRINGO board. So that's only been called once. Oh, twice. I haven't done the second one because I'm playing catch up because I was away for a week. So that's the S, Spring Moon. Then P is, and that's in a lovely Ziploc bag. This one's in a more exciting bag. This is Purrfect Presents. So P for Purrfect Presents. This is Satsuma Street. This came out the end of last year, and my friend Jenny and I were going to have it finished for last Christmas. Do either of us have it finished? No. I'm down to about here. I've done a little bit of this and worked my way down. Now this is 14 count. It's the called for fabric and threads, and I don't stitch much on 14 count anymore, so it's 2/2. And surprisingly enough, I'm not minding it when I'm doing it. So here is my beautiful pussycat sitting on her present. You can see how great it's coming out. I've got a tag on the fabric. I can't remember what it is, but it's a called for. And this I'm keeping in my project folder that I made with Tilda fabric. Sorry, this thing's falling out of it. Inside it looks like this. I think that, is this the original? I can't remember. I made two of these bags. One was, I got a pattern off Etsy, and I think I've talked about it in my last Flosstube if you want to find it. And I rejigged one of them to fit more bobbins in it than was in the original. So that's all sitting in there. So that's P. Then we go to R, Witchwood Rosewood Manor. Now originally when I finished that Rosewood Manor 101 into a project bag, I was going to put it in there. It doesn't actually fit. So I've just got it in one of these boxes we get from Officeworks, which is our local stationery model, because everything can sit in here. Ooh. Because the chart is a book. So this is the long mile. So this is R for Rosewood Manor. Hence the decision to finish 101 alphabets by them, because this is a big one. Stitching Mummy has also just started this. Now mine is on again a 20 count Aida, because, partly because this is a huge chart. This is, find the details for you. It's 185 wide, that's okay, but it's 688 long, and then you've got to add extra, obviously, for your borders. And they've done it 1/1 on 32 count cream linen, which is what Stitching Mummy's doing. But I had this piece of 20 count Aida because I bought a huge chunk for something, and I can get this from the side of that chunk, so that's why I'm doing it. So this has been called once, and it's been called twice, and I've stitched on it once. So this is your A, and then your letters go down the side. The alphabet goes down here. It's fun to stitch, but it is detailed. You've got lots of little colours. See the little wing in the bird and his little crown. So it's quite detailed. So you've got to be in that kind of mood where you're just slow doing little details. So that's R for Rosewood Manor. And Denise also brought me back, because Denise brought this back from market. It was one of my market pre-orders, and we got this little thread thing, but it doesn't work for this because there's twice as many threads on here as there are holes in here. Anyway, it's nice to have, and I'll use it for something. It was very sweet of Denise to just add that to my thing. And then Rosewood Manor, she always does all these little extra things, which I love. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to working on that again. So that's got a catch-up stitch. And as I said, if you want to see, Stitching Mummy's actually done 1/1 on 32 count. Go over to her. So that's Rosewood Manor. So SPR. Now we're up to I in SPRINGO. So I's for ice. And I decided to pull out Skating Santa by Carriage House Samplings, which I had bought to do Riley a stocking, and then realised I'm doing it on 40 count. That's a ridiculous size for a kid, so I'm just having fun with it. And he's skating on ice, so that's why it's I. So I'm working up in here, and I've done, this is my SPRINGO, I believe. Yes, this is my SPRINGO. This has been called 5 times, and I've done all 5. It's 100 stitches or an hour, so I've done over 500 stitches on all those trees. And again, I've been really enjoying working on it. This tree's got a bigger gap because you can see there's a path. Ooh, see this path goes through the trees? Goes all the way down. Not sure whether I'm going to change the word toy to something else. I haven't decided. But I love her patterns. I love her patterns, but I also love her stockings. I've also got Noah. Noah's on a big account. I'd like to work on that too. This is Zweigart 40 count platinum. That's what this is on. And you can see it's really narrow. Not at all suitable for a child's stocking. They want to get more stuff in their stocking. Okay, then we move on to N for Nash in Stacey Nash. So I'm doing Clovis, one of the animal crackers. And you can see I've started this on a random scrap. I worked out he'd fit on that bit, and I just working on him, and when I cut him out, then I'll have leftovers for some other things. But I really enjoyed working on Clovis. So I think she's been called 4 times. So if I get one more call for her, hey Carolyn, can I have a call? What number? Let me let you know, Carolyn, what number I need for Clovers. I need 35, please. So Carolyn, can you call 35 so I can work on this again and get another SPRINGO? And I've got this in this thing, which has got other Stacey Nashes because I bought Henny Penny. Sorry, I've got threads in the front of it. Oh, anyway, Henny Penny, because I like the needle roll. She's the hen. So that's sitting in there waiting to be done as well. And in here I've also got Henrietta, which was a ridiculous 1/1 on 28 count, I think, and yeah. So I started Clovis and decided I wasn't enjoying it, so I restarted, but she's ready to be made up into a cracker. So that's sort of my, so I've got a few other random things in there. It's got a bit of orange fabric from last year when Adelaide was doing a orange fabric sell. That's all I had, but I didn't start it. That is all in there, Clovis for Nash. Sorry about that. G is for grey fabric, because when Denise came back from market, oh, she had all this stuff in the shop. It is so fun having a local cross-stitch shop that brings back stuff from market, and you've got all this stuff. It's just, so I went a bit crazy because, you know, I've got a supporter. Anyway, so this is by SPRINGO Day, and it's on a box, and I thought, I think I've got a box, and I did. I came home and I found it, so I've got a box, and the stitching is going to go on here. It's just a little bit bigger, so it's good. So I'm keeping my work in progress in here. And this is grey fabric, and because the box is greys and purples, I changed it to greys and purples, and just happened to have this grey fabric. So here's my work on this. And for this I am using Cascade House, because you can understand where I get confused with colour Cascade fabrics and Cascade Help silks. These are beautiful. Denise is stocking these. Absolutely beautiful to work with. So I think I bought the purple for something else and then went and got the white. This is moving along reasonably quickly. And I just worked on this last night, finishing the basket for yesterday's call. I won't have quite enough grey. This is what I've got left, which looks like a fair bit, but I won't have enough 32 count if I didn't say. I'll have enough to do some of the accessories, but not all of them. I do like the needle book. So I'll probably do the needle book next and then work out what fabric I've got left. So that's G for grey fabric, and I'll run out of room on the left. And then SPRINGO was my favourite market purchase, which is Dot the Bird. Yeah, I actually ordered the silks for this before Denise got back from market with it, so I was ready to go. and strangely enough, it wasn't the first thing I started. And so I bought a piece of fabric, which is from Denise, Be Stitch Me Sugar Cream Pie, 36 count linen. And here is Dot. She is so fun. And what was I going to say about Dot? Oh, it's O because, you know, these are all O's, aren't they? So that's why it's Dot the Bird. This has only been called. Go to my SPRINGO board now. Yeah, covered it up. It's been called twice, but both times were while I was away, so she's got some catching up to do, so that'll be fun. So here's my SPRINGO board. So I've got this one done, this one, 35 Carolyn, you've got to call this one, so I can get another bingo that way. SPRINGO, bingo. Yeah, so it's fun, it's a lot of fun. And that one happens to live in the hexagon bag with thy needle, with needle and thread. I don't know, they don't seem at all alike, but somehow, whether I started them together or the fabrics feel similar, there's a similarity in my mind. Right. So that is all my whips. And then I have lots of acquisitions. I'm not going to show all of them. Some of them are I've got some more patterns from Market. I bought the one with the birds eating the berries, and I've got a few other things. I've got all my whips in those cubes in the tubs, like drawers that go in the cubes. But when Market came, Denise gave the stuff to me in a brown paper bag with a nice handle, and that sits by my chair with some of my Market stuff in it as well. Anyway, so after finishing my his eyes on the Sparrow and deciding I wasn't going to finish it because it was too big, what did I then decide to buy? Her latest big one. Now, I just love all the little elements in this one. Denise has started it. Oh, it's so cute. I thought this green here is Week Styleworks collards. I was sure I had collards, and Denise didn't have any in stock, so she was ordering it, and since she started hers, I'm assuming she's got it in, so when I pop in today, I'll be getting some collards. What was I going to say? Lost my thought. Oh yes, when I was looking for my collards, because I was sure I had collards. And even the patterns I've got, none of the patterns call for collards, so I have no idea why I thought I had it. Anyway, so just give me a second, let me grab, just to add to the storytelling here. Right, so it will live in this bag, of course, but this here, the Rosewood Manor one, this was a huge piece of linen, 36 count. So it'll be perfect for this. So I've got the linen. When I pop into the shop today, I'll see if Denise has got collards. I've got the red rocks for the reds in there. And I'm going to make a start because I can. And then the last lot of acquisitions is, of course, my colour Cascade fabrics. So there's a bit of my daughter is getting married July the 4th, Independence Day for all you Americans. That's when my daughter's getting married, so don't forget. And we had been talking about making a ring pillow. And so her bridesmaids' bouquets are autumn tone flowers. And it's a bit of where she's getting married is called Walkabout Creek, which is in a big reserve, and you can walk through there, you can go swimming in the creek and everything. Well, it's not a creek, it's more like a river, I think. But anyway, that's where she's getting married, so it's all natural tones. Anyway, so I thought, well, I'll see what Colour Cascade has got in terms of fabric for a ring pillow, possibly, and hadn't overly discussed it with my daughter. Anyway, I saw her yesterday, so I'm not sure whether it's going to happen. She was going home to talk to her fiance and see. She's really worried about when she ties the ring. When I tie the ring on, you know, I'll stitch ribbon for the ring. That when they undo it, they might fall off, and because the wedding's sort of outside, she's a little bit worried about that. But anyway, so I got these fabrics because, you know, I'll use them anyway. So this one, excuse me, I'm still rather tired. Oh, come on, boys. So this one's antique pink. It's a 36. Oh, come on. Nearly done. Oh, I forgot one thing. Stitchy kindness. Akiza, I was sitting next to, gave us all a little dinky dyes thread and a needle winder, which is really sweet because I didn't even think to take anything. Anyway. So thank you, Akiza. I will use it for something special. This is antique pink, 36 count opal. Can you see the sparkles in there? The cellophane probably helps. I'm not going to pull all these out. I will pull one out. But... So that was one, Autumny Tones. This is another one which has got a lot of mottling in it. This is Hephaestus. It's quite mottled. I really like this one. And then this was the other one. And I was just pulling autumny tone things. So this one is very vibrant. And this one is called, oh, sorry, put all the labels back to front. This is Embers. Since I've opened it, let's pull this one out. And she definitely doesn't like this one, which I'm not surprised. She loves sunflowers and things, but I wasn't surprised that she didn't like this, but I love it, so. So being in a bit of a long dog phase, yesterday I spent a little bit of time messing around on the long dog website looking at stuff. I haven't decided on something for this, but I was also on the Silks4U website looking at some silks. I'm thinking maybe a brown or a deep red or something, possibly. This one is this is an 18 count Aida. They only had a small piece of this, 13 by 17, and this one's Athena. Look at this. I bought this just because I loved it. And you can see it's a bit like the Pansy one I had for, was it Pansy or Hydrangeas for this? What was this one I had? Is this Pansy? Yeah. You can see, well obviously it's blue, not purple, but can you see how you can see how it appeals to me, and the sparkles. So, for this one I had two thoughts, because it's only small. I think the Queen of Hearts will fit on here. So that's a possibility. I don't know what thread. Long dogs, I'm talking long dogs here, by the way, sorry. And then this other piece, I saw a lady holding it up, and then when I went back and had a look at the table, she put it back. So I decided I needed something like this. This is called Aurora, and it's 18 count. Obviously Aurora Borealis. Don't know whether it will go that way or this way. So this, I bought this specifically to do a long dog on because I thought it was so fun. And this morning I was messing around before I got up actually on my iPad looking at Silks4U, because I think I woke up thinking about it. And I'm trying to work out what to do on it, whether I do a white or a creamy colour. I put a few hanks of Silks4U in my cart, and I'll go back and have a look at them later, because I was sitting in bed looking at this, didn't have the fabrics beside me, just had my iPad. I mean, you could go black, you could put a black on it. I'm even wondering if a deep purple would work, depending on how it lay. Maybe a deep purple might be good. Yeah, maybe a deep purple. Anyway, that's fun to think about. And next time I come back, maybe I'll have a decision. Maybe another start. Let's see. Because that is just fun. These fabrics are just fun. Yep, so that's essentially been my last month or so. And I was going to film when they did Bringo back at the beginning of the year, because that, you know, has a few projects, but I just never got around to doing it. So I haven't worried about all those other things. I just sort of plonked in with things I've been working on and loving. So I'm enjoying all of it. So thank you very much for watching. Hello to those of you from the Colour Cascade Stitch In, and thank you very much, Tammy. And then I found out that Tammy actually originally came from the suburb in Sydney where we went, and since she was visiting family, she decided to do the Stitch Day, and that worked for me because I ended up visiting family because of the Stitch Day, so it was really nice. And I believe she's going to do it again next year, so that might be my annual visit to visit my daughter and family in Sydney. All right, well, everyone enjoy your stitching, and I'll catch you later. Bye.